Okay. This is the story of Freddy. When we got Freddy, originally got a call on a dog in a shelter where his back legs didn't work and he was just shutting down the senior that had been just left there. Nobody knew a backstory on him at all. It was about a year and 8 months ago that we got him originally. So we got him out. His neurological problems are really bad. His ability to walk is out. You can see how his toes kind of set back. Freddy. Hi. Hey, buddy. Come here. When we went into the shelter, he would fall all over the place. He couldn't stand up. He couldn't do this. His hands would curl over, all this crazy stuff. And you just see this senior dog, and you're like, why the hell would a senior dog be in here in this condition as well? You know, you never really know why. But got him out, started to try and work with him a little bit, gave him some of our CBD, tried to see what we could do, because we didn't know what was going to happen with Freddy at all. We had no idea. It's just a senior dog doesn't deserve to be in a shelter, so we went to get him out. As I was taking him in his crate to my truck, a person had stopped their car, opened the door, left it in the road, ran towards me and was like, "Oh, that's my dog." And I was like, yeah, whatever, guy. And he was like, "No, that's Freddy." And I was like, "Yeah, this is Freddy." It ended up that his parents had dropped Freddy off because his body was shutting down, and didn't tell the kids. Said Freddy had died. The son had looked all over online, the shelters, found him, and just miraculously was there when I was taking him out. So talked to him for a little bit. He was like, I can't take Freddy right now. Told me a little bit of his past, that he was 13 years old, going on 14, and this big scar on his side. He was like that he chased a cat through a construction site, like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'll put him into rehab. I'll help him out, and then if you want to adopt him back from us, then we can talk about that. And we can meet up on an agreement and see what's up, because we're always willing to try and have the dog with the family, with the people that love them. It's the point of our job. It's not to take dogs from people's families. It's to keep them there and keep them loved. So Freddy went through rehab for a little bit. Went into a foster home, and he was doing good, but he was peeing on everything. He was just this old, senile. He was like an old war vet. He was just tough as nails, and it's like he'd have his drink at the end of the night and be that old disgruntled dude, and then get up in the morning and do it all again. But we saw his personality start to develop as he was getting better. So we took him down to the facility shortly after that, and he just got better and better and better. Started working rehab, working his legs, going through, doing the same stuff that I do for all our special needs dogs. Better diet, our CBD, all of our different stuff, to just really start making the wheels turn. And he made 100% turnaround. Like, he turned into that old senior that would take you on a run, and like, he'd make you he'd own you on a run. He could just keep going and going and going. And he kept doing that for a long time. We put him up for adoption. One family came and saw him, but they wanted to be able to keep him in the garage or outside, and we don't do that. Dog has to be part of your family inside. Our adopters, we've got such amazing adopters that Freddy, we held out because he's not going to be an outside dog. He's not going to do that. So then as we progressed, he stayed with us for a long time. He was at the ranch for months, compiled into months and months, and nobody ever bat an eye at him. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to see him. Every single time he'd pass by. So, he got a lot of love from us, and he got to be a special sort of rescue dog, because we're only the middleman. We're trying to be here to get dogs in a place where they need to be, but show them the love and affection and give them training and do all this different stuff. But Freddy became a special case with that. I kind of figured Freddy would be with us till the end, but there's always that where you want them to, find their forever home. So then it took a drastic turn. Just one day on regular feeding routine, Freddy's face and head had started to swell up. And initially, he's tough as nails. Like I said, he's that war vet. So, we monitored him for a little bit to see, but it just kept progressively swelling, and then his body was shutting down. So we're like, okay, crap, either internal, something's happening, snake bite, spider bite, bee sting. Freddy was so senile, he'd run up and try to eat a bee if he wanted to. Like, he's just like that. It's part of his quirky personality. But it wasn't any of that. We spent $1,006 on anti-venom injection for him. Did nothing. We did all sorts of fluids and antihistamines and all this different stuff to try and see what it was. After 2 days in the hospital, he kind of got better. So we thought we were getting somewhere. Still was a little bit swollen, but we thought maybe it'd go down. He got back, he was okay for one day, and then he started declining rapidly and fast. His head swelled up even bigger, hard lumps on sides of his head. So we put him right back to the vet, right into surgery. And if you've seen the video, it was like a strawberry milkshake. It's disgusting. But it looked like it was a big sign of relief because he got everything drained out. We're happy about it. We're like, okay, good. He's got relief. He's, we'll be able to eat and be happy and stuff. He got out of surgery with his tubes, was doing okay again for a day, and then started to go downhill again. You could see his paws were curling under, so we thought maybe neurological. We tested, we did blood work, x-rays, we did all these different things, and no signs of anything in his spine, in his neck, nothing. We checked, x-ray, did all this stuff for his jaw, his teeth, maybe an abscess, maybe this, that. Went to the end of the world for it, and couldn't figure it out. So as he started to decline more and more, all these different people, when you post stuff like this as a rescue, you have call signs when you've been in it long enough that you understand when a senior's body is just shutting down. At almost 15 years old, he'd been through a lot. So the call signs of it, and everybody had an opinion on the try this. After we went through the first initial set of stuff that when you poke and prod and pry and surgery and this and that, you have to make a decision of when enough is enough. And so we got to the point where Freddy was very happy. We got him a cart. He didn't have to walk around. He'd have trouble walking around, but he'd try to get up. So you'd see he'd want to be out doing stuff. It's quality of life at the end of the day. And got him a cart. He'd roll around with the biggest smile on his face. It'd be hot a couple of the days, so rigged up a little umbrella to be over it and spent time with him, just laying in the grass, just the stuff he'd love to do. He ran around as a pack dog. Like, he got to be like the commander over everybody. He got to walk through the daycare and the kennels and be that dog for a little bit. So ultimately from there we decided that it was gonna be time to let him go. He's struggling really, really hard towards the end. And I remember I woke up to it randomly raining the day that he was supposed to be put down. And I was like, we've already gone past rain season. There's no reason for it. Like, I was going to take him to the beach for one last run of this and that and work it out. And he was okay that day, and it was raining, so we couldn't go and do anything. I was like, you know what, if that's a sign, then it hit me in the face with it. I was just like, it's time for a bucket list. Everyone that follows us, everybody watching this, like, that follows us with this, supported it 100%. There was one person that tried to give a problem about it, which we'll talk about that another day, but everybody else supported so heavy, and we decided to make a bucket list. We got to go to the beach. We tried the first location at one of our adopters on Malibu Dog Beach because they have a house there. High tide, we got screwed on it. We're like, oh my God, really? Like, Freddy just does not have luck. Like, come on, man, you deserve better than this. And high tide came all the way up to the buildings. We all got wet and trashed and sandy and all this different stuff. And I was like, you know what? We are not giving up on this. Like, this is not how he's going out. This is Freddy. This is our senior dog. So we went and actually drove a little bit past and went till we found a beach that we could literally just roll onto, and that's what we did. And we sat, and he had a blast. He, you know, you could see his ears would perk up in the wind. He was having a good time. So we took him to the beach, did that. The next day, we did an all-out picnic, like $400 in steak and potatoes and chicken and this and this and this and this. And mind you, Freddy hadn't eaten for really days. Like, he was eating small amounts, supplemental, and giving him fluids and everything because he was happy. But that day, he chowed down. He took this huge steak and started eating it. And he took all the potatoes. He took the cheese. He loved the cheese, the mozzarella. He was all about it. But we did a picnic up on the hill, up by the senior neighborhood. He loved it. He had a great time. And then we're going to do more different things. We went out. He got to see a sunset in the poppy fields that we have up here in Leona Valley. He got to watch the sunset. It was just time of his life. He was just smiling the whole time. He literally went out like to with a bang for a sunset just to see it and do it, be about it. And we were all by ourselves. Nobody was out there. That night we came back. He got to be in my house and be like what it was to be my dog. He got to watch a movie. He got to eat ice cream. All this fun stuff. And then we tried to plan it out with enough time and diligence to get him everything we possibly could. But that last morning, Friday morning, he was ready to go. So his last part of his bucket list was that I adopted him. It's one of those things where every rescue dog deserves to go as someone's dog. So, adopted him, and then he passed a little later on that day. He passed away on his own with me there. And we did his burial that night, and everybody from the rescue came up, a couple past adopters, and he's up on the hill that we have overlooking the rescue. So it was a very good way for a dog to go if they're in rescue, and that's what they're having to go as. What a wish for better. And you can't beat yourself up over the fact. You gotta look at the positive. But he got to go as my dog. So yeah. There's one thing that I can just say at the end of it is, it was when he was out in the sunset at the poppy fields. There was a certain point where you realize what dogs are and what they can be to you, when he was just walking into the sunset by himself. And yeah, it was amazing.